Welcome to Sense and Nonsense A to Z, where we pick topics based off of the letter of the day. Today is episode 25 of season 2, featuring the letter Y.
We're family and we're your hosts, AT and Z. So let's get started. And of course, our Y hello is going to be Yasu.
Yasu!
Or Yasas. I came across something just the other day and I wrote it down. I wanted to mention it to you.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of an advice column called Miss Manners?
Yes.
Okay. Someone wrote in and said, is it rude to call on the phone anymore? Should you text first? You know, when she's been calling people, they've been annoyed at her because she's called rather than text.
Yeah.
And it apparently texting is the new thing anyway.
Right.
I've actually heard that as far as emailing also. It's like, don't email because people aren't responding to email. If you want to get in touch with somebody, text them.
This is interesting because I had a recall on my truck.
Okay.
An airbag recall. I had been calling and trying to get an appointment to get it fixed for like a year.
Really?
And yeah. And then finally, a couple of weeks ago, I got a text
Really?
from Chevrolet saying,
that?
you have a recall. I'm like, yeah, I know. I've been trying to get that done for ages.
Duh.
And we set up the appointment via text.
No kidding. So you had to respond to the link on the text.
Well, it was just a regular text like you would text anybody.
Oh, so
it wasn't even a link.
Oh,
No,
wow.
it was just
Wow.
like anybody. Yeah, that's how business is being conducted now.
Yeah. All right. So it was a text and you said, yes, I know. I've been trying to reach you guys.
And we set up the
Wow.
whole appointment that way.
How about that?
Yeah.
I know things have evolved and people don't screen calls anymore and we don't have answering machines anymore. But the bottom line is, you know what? It really isn't rude to call somebody if you really need to get in touch with somebody. You know what? We do it. Hey, are you available?
I know.
And if you are, then then either you call me or I call you. But,
sometimes the call comes through without a heads up text.
Right.
And I would say between the two of us, it's probably 50-50 whether the other person picks up or not.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not because we're trying to avoid, it's because we're in the middle.
Or the phone's on charge.
Yeah.
You know, that sort of thing. And
or
it's like,
you're in the bathroom and
you're in the bathroom.
Yeah,
exactly. The phone's downstairs. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's definitely a convenience thing. But I see also like at a certain age, you don't want to be called. You want to be texted. You're not going to answer the phone. If you are, let's say, 35 and under, you're not going to answer the phone.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. Unless unless you have prearranged this phone call for a reason. But if you are 35 years old and you want to talk to your grandmother, you're going to have to call her.
Exactly. And what was mentioned also is that people are expecting when the phone rings that it's an emergency. So when the phone does ring, it scares them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or you're avoiding it because it's spam.
That's the other thing. Exactly correct. Yeah.
We're constantly...
Chances are it's spam. So
I get like 10 of them a day.
I know, it's ridiculous. And it's gone up lately, hasn't it?
Yes.
What the hell?
I don't know. But it makes me like dread my phone ringing because it's spam.
Yeah, there you go. So I figured I'd bring that up.
That is true. And I've even caught myself being like, I wish my grandmother would text. It would make it so much easier. Not
easier.
That I wouldn't want to talk to her as well. Yeah. But like for little things, it's like, I don't want a whole conversation. I just want to tell you this one thing. Yeah. Or I want to post you this picture real fast.
Right.
Or whatever it is. I wanted to ask you something. Do you have anything else?
No, how about you?
Yeah, I want to ask you about Lent. I want to ask you if you're giving something up for Lent this year.
See, that's not a Greek thing.
No, but I know you've done it in the past.
Yeah, but you know what? I've been usually following the Greek thing, which is 40 days without meat. Mm-hmm. And then what we usually would do, is the week before Easter, that whole week, nothing from an animal. No meat, no dairy, no nothing.
Why? What's the reasoning behind
the significance?
that?
Body, an animal body, I guess, that's the religious thing. So that's our Lent, Greek Orthodox.
Yeah.
How about you? You giving up anything?
No.
And it's not Oreo cookies.
No, it's not. Although I haven't really had any. I
just had one.
backed off the Oreo cookies. They're still sitting there though, so they'll call my name.
Yum.
No, I don't believe in that.
No, Lent.
For me, it just doesn't make any sense.
I know what you mean.
I'm not understanding what it's like to have no food for 40 days by giving up one thing that I like. Whether, and the things that I see people pick a lot, they're like, oh, I've given up alcohol. It's like, really? That's tough? That's
it
tough for
be
you
tough.
to give up for 40 days?
For some people, of course.
That's not something you can't live without.
No, I agree.
Or people give up chocolate. It's like, really? You can easily live without these things. These are not things that are going to make you feel like you're closer to the divine. Whatever it is. You're not suffering. You're not, it's ridiculous.
Well, on the other hand, with the Greek Orthodox Lent, there's a cleansing that goes on as well when you think about it. So, I mean, that's a good thing.
I'm all for cleansing, for detoxing, actually, even for fasting. Go ahead and fast for a few days. Like I can get down with that. Yeah. But I just don't understand like some of this, like, oh, I'm going to give up Cheetos. It's like, really? Okay, good for you. Giving up Cheetos. Way to make it through there. You're so brave, you know?
Exactly.
But I was just hearing some of the things that people are giving up, and I'm like, oh, my goodness. You should be proud of yourself.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Hey, I just Googled top 10 things to give up for Lent.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Coffee came up, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That one makes sense.
But listen to this. Social media, it's like, what does
that have to do with anything?
Really? I mean,
that has nothing to do with not eating for 40 days and 40 nights.
Exactly. Or the next one was give up electronics.
What?
It's like, really?
Again, no, that's not the point.
I don't get
Do people
that
understand what the point of Lent is?
I don't get it. I really don't. Wow.
It's not just giving up something that's important to you. It's giving up something that's vital to your to maintaining life.
Wow.
I can hear it now. My phone is vital to my life.
Yeah, right? Wow.
But you won't die. You won't die if you don't have your phone, or if you don't troll Instagram. These things are not very old. People have a very short memory. There were thousands of years of humanity before Instagram came around.
Exactly. And TikTok.
Yeah. Giving up social media sites for even 2 months really is only going to impact your life in a positive way.
Sure.
Oh, so no, you can't give up Nintendo. Oh, no. You forget that.
Yeah.
Also, the thing with the pillow.
Yeah. I just read that. Sleep without a pillow. And here's the other one. Wake up without hitting the snooze button. I mean, this is Lent?
Yeah.
This is Lent anymore?
Yeah.
I don't
think so. All right. I'm not religious at all.
But
even I would not be so callous as to say, oh, for Lent, you know what I'm going to give up?
My pillow.
Facebook.
Yeah, you of all people, right?
Yeah.
You don't even know what your password is anymore.
I don't even know. I haven't been on it so long, I don't know.
Oh my God.
Okay, what are we doing now?
You want to do some of the recent news stories?
Okay, what are we doing?
Okay, give me a yay or a yikes after these, okay?
Okay, yay or yikes.
All right. First one. In Queens, New York, there's a roadway that was previously known as the Interborough Parkway and was renamed for Jackie Robinson in 1997 for the 50th anniversary of him breaking the MLB's color barrier in 1947. Alrighty, so an additional sign was installed on the roadway last month. Jackie Robinson.
Jakey?
They misspelled his first name.
Yikes.
Ain't it?
That's a big yikes. This was an official sign?
Official sign.
And they misspelled it.
Can you believe it.
No.
Yes. Yep.
That's outrageous.
Yeah, they left out to sea. Shaky.
Oh my God.
I know.
Come on.
I know. Come on, son.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, next one. Tennis legends Andre Agassi, John McEnroe, Andy Roddick, and Michael Chang will go head-to-head later this year in pursuit of $1 million prize playing pickleball.
Yay.
The inaugural Pickleball Slam. It'll take place on April 2nd at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood, Florida.
That's a yay.
That's a yay, ain't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that too. Okay, third one. A Chinese company is selling a remote kissing device designed to help long-distance relationships smooch via a cell phone app. So the remote kiss device comes with a set of silicone lips, and it replicates the pressure, movement, and temperature of a kiss. It sends it to a corresponding device via a smartphone app. And you know what reminded me? It was Big Bang. Remember that Howard and Raj had that kissing thing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yay or yikes?
This is yikes. This is complete yikes. Yeah.
Yeah. I know. It's wrong. It's just plain
wrong.
wrong.
Yeah, it's wrong.
Yeah. Okay. Fourth one. The Center for Cardiovascular Diagnostics and Prevention at the Cleveland Clinic Learner Research Institute released a new study that sugar replacement called erythritol, used to add bulk and sweeten stevia, monk fruit, and keto-reduced sugar products. So anyway, this thing that they add to the stevia, it's linked to blood clotting, stroke, heart attack, and death.
Fabulous.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yikes.
Yeah, yikes on that for sure. So anyway, be careful with the stevia though.
Why do they have to do stuff like that? Because
I have no idea.
It's all natural. It won't spike your blood sugar. Why do they have to mess with it?
Yeah.
It's like anything.
Throw an additive into
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Anything that starts out decent for you. No, that's not good enough. We got to do something to it. And now it gives you heart disease or blood clots or kills your liver or something.
Yeah. It's probably some sort of preservative, for it. So that was my guess. Okay. Next one. Someone with over 150,000 followers on TikTok has gone viral with a new trend called Bare Minimum Mondays.
Oh no.
This is to beat scary Sundays and avoid burnout. So she claims for her, it avoids the dread of the pressure of returning to work on Mondays. And the idea is to encourage workers to do as little as possible on Mondays to restore their energy and focus on other interests. She says, quote, "It starts the week prioritizing yourself as a person over yourself as an employee." End quote.
So you go to work and
bare
do
minimum.
the bare minimum
On Mondays.
because it's too hard being you?
Because it's too hard to go back to work after a weekend.
Okay.
I'm sure employers are like ecstatic when they heard about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From a TikToker with 150,000 followers.
Yes.
Yikes.
Yikes for me too. Yeah. Okay. Next one I have is California's housing shortage is so bad.
How bad is
it? Okay. That the California State University at Humboldt is considering a floating barge as a dorm. They've been working with local officials and state regulatory agencies to explore the possibilities of a multi-story residential barge to be docked at that local bay, which is only about 8 miles from the campus.
Yikes.
Yeah, I agree.
You gonna put a bunch of drunk college kids
on a barge?
On a barge?
Yeah.
And you just want to see how many of them can drown the first year just for kicks? You gonna
it could be
start
bad.
A pool?
It could be bad.
Oh my God.
Yeah. You telling me that they're not going to jump off the barge?
Oh, are you
come
kidding me?
Oh, come on.
If they were in a hotel that had a
Pool?
What do you think they'd be doing?
Yeah,
might as well just put their house on a giant pool.
Yeah.
And see what happens.
Or just float the house for that matter. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So that's a yikes. All right. Next one I have is Cocaine Bear makes $23 million on the first weekend at the box office.
Yikes.
Yeah.
What is happening?
I know. Next one. During a halftime performance at a college basketball game at Virginia Tech Louisville, a dog and his trainer are entertaining the crowd and doing some cute canine tricks. The show abruptly ended. Why?
No.
As the dog approached the trainer for a frisbee trick, he decided to do his own special trick on the court. Out of nowhere, he squatted and did his poop. The trainer quickly dropped the frisbee, grabbed the dog, and ran him right off the court while the crowd was dying.
Oh my gosh.
So anyway, the report said to add to the crappy night, the team lost, the home team lost, and it was their third consecutive loss. So anyway.
Yikes.
Hey, when you gotta go, you gotta go.
Yeah, but you think a trained dog would know not to go inside?
You never know. You gotta go. Okay, I've got two more. An owner of an ice cream store in southern Germany experiments every now and then with a new flavor that he creates. In the past, he's offered...
This fills me with dread right now.
In the past, he's offered liver sausage flavor, gorgonzola cheese flavored, and gold-plated ice creams. His new flavor is, drumroll, cricket. Oh, that's a yikes.
That's a yucky yikes.
Yeah, that's a yikes.
That's terrible.
I know.
Why would you want cricket flavored ice cream?
They eat crickets.
Okay, fine.
Chocolate covered crickets.
I get that. Fine. But you know what? Chocolate covered crickets. Do you know why? Because crickets are disgusting.
And you put
chocolate on it to make it better. So why in the hell would you want the disgusting flavored ice cream?
I have no idea. I know. I thought that was pretty yucky. Okay, last one. Last one I think you're going to like. All right. Dave Grohl cooks for LA's homeless during, you heard about this, marathon grill session at the Hope Mission.
Yeah.
Dave spent 16 hours in the kitchen whipping up ribs, pork butt, brisket, cabbage, coleslaw, and beans that he personally footed the bill for, by the way.
Yeah.
And in between checking the smoker, he grabbed a nap in the parking lot, right? And then went back and served 450 guests and 50 staff members.
Yes. Yay.
That's a yay.
That's a yay, Dave Grohl.
Yep.
Yeah.
Way to go, Dave.
It's a big yay.
Yeah.
All right. I've got a couple.
You got questions for me?
I got questions.
All right.
These are the deep questions.
Can I answer them with a yay or a yikes?
No.
Oh, darn it. Okay.
Sorry. Okay. But these are deep questions.
Here we go.
Brace yourself.
I am.
Young Sheldon or grown Sheldon?
Oh. It's grown Sheldon for me.
I agree. Grown Sheldon.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. All right. This one is going to hurt. This one.
All right.
Yoda
Uh-huh.
or yogurt?
Of course it's yogurt. Yogurt the Great. Yogurt the Magnificent.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just plain yogurt.
I would pick Yoda.
Oh, you would?
Absolutely.
I'm a Mel Brooks fan.
I want to learn to be a Jedi.
That's great.
All right.
Okay.
Would you rather be a yes man or argue every single point?
Argue every single point. Because I am not a yes person. How about you?
I would argue every
single point.
There
you go. Okay.
All right. Would you rather have a yappy dog who is otherwise well behaved?
Okay.
Or a quiet dog constantly misbehaving?
I'd rather have a yappy dog. Yeah. How about you?
I'm not sure.
Yippy yappy and
would drive me nuts.
Yeah.
I guess yappy. Yeah, yappy.
For sure.
All right, last one.
Okay, it's gonna be a good one.
I don't know about that.
Okay, yikes.
You're just what I needed from the Cars, or you make my dreams come true, Hall & Oates.
You're just what I needed from the Cars. Yeah. How about you?
Yeah, Cars.
Yeah,
You're just
Cars.
what I needed.
Yeah. I've always loved the Cars.
Me too. Me
Mhm.
too. All right, that's it. Those
All
are my
right.
deep questions.
Love them.
Okay, word game.
You're waving that envelope at
I'm
me.
waving
Okay.
it.
All right, I got mine handy, so I go first.
You have to redeem ourselves from last week.
Oh yeah, last week was not good.
No,
Not at all.
my mother gave me the what are you stupid face?
Really?
Yeah, she's like, "What's the matter with you?" Mailbox. I was like, I was having a hard time.
Oh man.
I know.
Okay. All right. First one I have is I just had an idea. Okay.
Okay.
Brewers.
Yeast.
Good. That was my idea. I was going to give you beer. Okay. Wait a minute. Let me get a piece of paper so I can keep score. I wasn't prepared. So that's a 5-er.
Yay.
Yay.
All right, ready?
No, go ahead.
Yin.
Yang.
Hey.
Yay. Okay. Tomorrow.
Yesterday.
Good. You know, I'm saying to myself, I can't say today because that's part of the word, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Okay, good.
Another 5-er.
Okay. Delicious.
Yummy.
Yay.
Yay. And we're not talking about that cricket ice cream.
No.
Yeah, definitely not. Okay. Ooh. Switzerland.
Uh-oh.
I should have given you another clue. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I
I think I'm going backwards on this one. Sorry about that.
I don't have a guess.
Okay. Whistle.
Yodel.
There you go. Phew. Do you think you would have gotten it if I said whistle first?
Maybe.
Okay. Shoot.
Oh. Tomorrow.
Yesterday.
Yay. Yeah. Let me get
Okay.
that one. Okay. Ready?
Yes.
Boat.
Yacht.
Yes.
Ready for mine?
Yes.
Boat.
Yacht.
There you go. Good thing I have an extra. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Google.
Yahoo.
Yes.
Yahoo. Okay. Exercise.
Yoga.
Yes.
Oh man. Excellent. Not Yugoslavia.
No. Not Yemen.
Not Yemen. Okay, this is my last one.
All right.
You ready?
Yeah.
Mets.
Yankees.
There you go. Actually, it's Yankee. It's one,
Yankee.
but that's good enough. Okay, that's a 5-er. Oh, wow.
We have a new record?
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 44. Oh my God. Did we really do 44?
Yeah.
Wow. So the only one that was screwed up was Yodel.
Yodel.
I'm sorry. Oh, that stinks. That stinks. All right. We did good
You know
though.
what I might have got it if you did?
What's that?
Ricola.
Oh, no kidding.
I might have gotten it.
You might have gotten it. Yeah. Never thought of that. Here I'm thinking Switzerland.
I
Right?
mean, yeah.
I'm thinking of Swiss Alps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, but 44, that's nothing to sneeze at. That's fantastic.
Are you kidding me? That's the best we've ever done.
Exactly. Hey.
That's awesome. All right.
All right.
Okay. Last word in the envelope is
Yep.
yard.
Yard.
Yard. And we're going to use that in our think of segment. So what do you think of when you think of yard?
Backyard.
Yardstick.
I'm in baseball mode, so I'm going to say Camden Yard.
Okay. I'm going to say Scotland Yard.
Oh, good one.
That might be my only one.
No. How about yard darts?
Oh, good. How about yard bowling? Or is it lawn bowling? Longest yard.
There you go. Excellent. Okay, I'm going to go back to sports. Passing yard or passing yards.
How about yard line?
Yeah. How about rushing yards?
10 yards?
Okay. I got something. Let's switch over to music. How about yardbirds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about the whole 9 yards?
Good one. Yardley? Yardley, yeah. Navy yard?
Did you say passing yard?
Passing yards, yeah. And rushing yards.
Oh, well, you said Navy yard. Navy yard is really
right?
good. Yeah. Shipping yard?
Yeah. I can't think of anything else.
I don't know. Yard is hard.
Yeah. Came up with a couple.
Yeah.
That wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
The whole 9 yards. I loved that movie, by the way.
I did too.
Yeah. All right, we're good.
All right, good.
Heck, we had 44 points. Come on.
Yeah, we're a little burnt.
Yeah.
So we hope you liked that segment. Remember to follow us on Facebook and leave us a comment, keeping it PG-ish, and let us know what you think of when you think of yard.
Let's move over to the sports desk. Major League Baseball spring season has begun. And of course, so have the new rules, right?
Mm-hmm.
The pitch clock is a little challenging.
Yeah, huh?
Finding it's more challenging for the batters rather than the pitchers.
Nice.
Yep. Because the pitchers are just ready. They're, they would like rapid fire, really.
Yeah.
So, like we discussed, 15 seconds between pitches with no runners on the base and 20 seconds with runners on.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is that the batter has to be not only in the batter's box, he has to be ready. And I was watching the game. So what happened is that somebody had 2 strikes on them. The pitcher was ready. He had his, foot in the batter's box, and he didn't have his bat on his shoulder, that sort of thing. He wasn't looking at the pitcher. And there goes 8 seconds, and it's like, strike 3, dude.
Boom.
Boom. But what was interesting, too, is that something I didn't think of, and I'm guessing the ESPN guys didn't think of it either until it happened, was, okay, for those people who keep score, how do you score that now? So it's not a K.
Right.
It's not a backwards K. So the guy on ESPN, he goes, what I'm going to do? I'm going to put KV as in strikeout violation. And I'm like, that was a pretty good solution there, dude.
How about that?
Yeah.
I was thinking about that. Like, that's got to mess with people's stats.
Yeah.
Because
no less historically.
Does that go to a pitcher as
yes,
a strikeout?
It's a strikeout. It does.
But technically, he didn't strike them out.
Well,
he didn't. The guy just wasn't ready. He got like you said, he got
it's
a violation.
Yeah.
It's an error, really.
Yeah, when you think about it, sure.
So I just find this whole thing very interesting, how the stats are going to work with it.
Yeah,
too.
we'll see what happens going forward for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so the next thing I have is hockey, and I'm a big Ranger fan, so I have some good news and bad news.
Okay.
The good news is for the New York Rangers, they acquired all-star, multiple award winner Patrick Kane, who's he's just a fantastic right winger. They're going for it. The bad news, defensive Keandre Miller had an incident the other day, and this was a tough game against the Los Angeles King. He made a rough hip check, but it was legal. And then there was some confrontation, yada, yada, yada. They were a little pushing, a little shoving, yelling, and all that stuff. When it was wrapping up, Miller spit, and it landed on one of the Kings players.
Yikes.
And it was disgusting. You couldn't see it live.
Did they slow-mo it?
Yeah, they did. They had to check another camera angle because the guy who got spitted on, he went to the official and said, look it, and the officials went to the replay and they found one of the camera angles that it really showed that he spit. So he was immediately ejected, charged with a 5-minute major penalty, which thank goodness the Rangers overcame, but still he was suspended then for 3 games.
Wow.
He apologized and said it was an accident. So
No, it wasn't.
yeah, I don't know how a full spit is an accident. A
No.
spray spit
Yeah.
is a different story.
Yeah.
But a
loogie? Yeah, I was just gonna say a loogie is purposeful.
Yeah.
You've gotta suck it down and
Yeah.
hock it.
Hock it a little bit around.
Yeah. You've got some force.
Yeah.
To a loogie. Yeah.
So
what do you get? Is that like unsportsmanlike?
it was
or...
unsport. Yeah, absolutely. Totally ejected that as soon as right into locker room, you're done.
Yeah.
But it was a 5-minute major.
Yeah.
5 minutes with one less player on the ice. That's a little
lot.
tough.
Yeah.
Hard on the team. But anyway, they got through that. And like I said, good news, bad news. And we got Patrick Kane. We're going for it. So
well, all right.
Looking forward to the rest of the season.
The Two Pineapple Corner.
Okie dokie. I'm ready.
Season 4, episode 5. Sean gets the yips.
He does.
Talking about baseball.
Yeah.
In 1989, Henry is teaching Sean to play second base, and he's doing drills with him to throw to the first baseman. And the first time Henry hits that grounder to Sean, he moves his feet, he fields the ball, he throws to first base, which is like a
target,
shooting target.
A shooting target with guy with a mitt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he hits it perfectly.
Yeah.
And Henry's like, wow, that was perfect. You did a great job.
Yeah.
This time, do the same thing, get low. And he adds like 5
all these
unnecessary
instructions
steps.
Yeah.
And he totally gets into Sean's head.
No doubt.
And then when he hits the ball, he overthrows and he winds up smashing Henry's driver's side window of his truck.
That's right. He asked for it.
He did.
Yep.
He really did. Instead of letting a kid just drill down on what he was doing, he had to make it unnecessarily complicated as he normally does. So it screws him up. And it comes to present day, and they're in this bar, and the Santa Barbara Police Department softball team is celebrating a win against Haircut Hut.
And they had some hair going over there.
Yeah, and these cops better have one, because if they lost to this haircut team, they should never have shown their face on a field again.
True.
But Gus is like, I don't know why you're giving a victory speech to Sean. He's like, you overthrew first base 5 times.
5 times. Yeah, but I got 5 hits.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then he tells a story about how he's got a mental block called the Yips that he's had since his youth.
And then last he says they should call it the sucks, right?
Yeah, which gets a laugh from everybody, really.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But he says that, it's very common among highly skilled athletes and international men of leisure.
Oh, my God.
And he cites second baseman Chuck Knobloch.
And it's funny because that's the first thing that came to my mind. They were talking about him overthrowing. I was like, and we used to call it that. Oh man, he knoblocked that.
Yeah. That was a big deal for a while.
Yeah, exactly. Well, when you're watching the Yankees.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was painful, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he would take a ground ball, it's like, just throw it underhand, dude.
Yes.
And he would.
Yeah.
And he would, by the way.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you do what you got to do, because he's like, well, it could have been worse because he's seeing.
It could have been 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could have been 10 overthrows. Yeah.
Exactly. Sean is upset because he hasn't gotten his pizza chili cheese fries yet.
Right.
And he talks to the waitress about it, and she's like, I brought them to you, sir. And he's like, no, you didn't. Because if you had, I'd be experiencing both euphoria and a burning sensation in the neighborhood of my colon. So he's complaining he's going to talk to the manager. And while he's doing that, he sees a guy in a hoodie and he's got a gun.
Yeah.
And so kind of covertly, he goes to tell Lassie about this. But in the meantime, they have brought out a cake for Buzz because it's his birthday.
Right. And they're singing loudly.
Singing. Yeah. And he's like trying to get Lassie's attention and talk to him, and Lassie's kind of brushing him off, and he hears the word gun. And then he turns his head and he like zeroes in on the guy, and he's like, freeze, douchebag. And he just starts unloading on this guy
with 2 guns.
Absolutely. And the other guy's firing back as well. So And then it cuts and everybody's cleared out and Chief Vic has arrived and
Right.
they're telling her kind of what happened. And they assume it's an attempted robbery. Lassie assumes it's an attempted robbery.
Right.
And Sean's like, no, it's not a robbery. He came in and killed somebody. And they're like, who? You know, and he's like, one of us.
Yeah.
And it kind of takes a whole new life on its own. Then, you know.
Yeah. Then it kind of gets serious.
It does.
Yeah.
Because Sean figures out that it's not just some junky thief like Lassie thinks it is. It's a guy who is actually after Lassie. And he takes another shot at Lassie. So back at the police station, Lassie kind of gets confined to the conference room with a 24-hour guard put on him. Juliet is given point on this case, and it's just tearing him up inside. You know, Lassie just wants to be out on the street. He wants to be coordinating. He wants to be doing everything. But the chief is like, no, you're on lockdown. So he's trying to insert himself into this case anyway. And Juliet's like, this is not going to work. So they go to the psych office and they're looking through old case files of Lassie's to see who might be a credible threat, because these are all people who have threatened him bodily harm in public. So she's like, oh, who's got the elliptical machine? And Sean's like, check out our bodies and tell us which one. Like, Gus, when did you get the elliptical machine? And he's like, check back in a month. I'll be ripped to the bone with an 8-pack, possibly 9. You could play my abs like a harp, you know? And it's really funny because it's got dry cleaning hanging all over
yes.
it. They decided they're going to order pizza because they're hungry. And Gus can't find the phone. And this is a preamble to... Exactly.
Later on.
For the police academy one where he keeps losing all his equipment. Sean is constantly losing this phone, which is cordless phone. So it has to go into
the cradle,
to be charged.
Right.
And, you know, Sean is admitting that he has a problem here. They do come up with a suspect. A possible shooter is Ivan Petrovich, who was just released from prison. Lassie put him away 3 years ago. And he's a scumbag drug lord. Even though they didn't work the case, Sean wound up getting paid for this case.
Yes.
Because apparently he took a phone call that somehow he wound up getting paid for.
And never told Gus.
No, he never told Gus. And so he feels bad about it. But Ivan Petrovich targeted high school kids. And a high school quarterback wound up ODing because of these drugs, and Lassie could only get him on a weapons charge.
Yes.
And it's bothered him for 3 years, and he's telling the chief about it. You know, this is why he needs to be involved. And this guy seems to be targeting anybody who worked on his case. So Juliet goes to check on Buzz because Buzz was there when Lassie arrested this guy.
Yes.
And at first we're like, oh, Buzz is fine. He comes out in his bathrobe.
Right.
And then he goes to get his mail, and there's a bomb in his mailbox.
Yep.
And he winds up flying backwards into a swimming pool.
Right.
And this is another one of those scenes.
That's a scene in an intro, in one of the intros.
It is. And it's a scene that the kid loves. We watch that scene over and over and over.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, he loves that one. I know. You know, a lot of fun.
Loses an eyebrow, by the way.
Yeah, it came clean off. And he lost a bit of 3 toes.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know. He seemed to be okay with it, though.
Yeah, he was all right. Juliet calls Gus because she called the psych office. She couldn't get in touch with anybody at the psych office. She couldn't get in touch with Sean.
Right.
So she calls Gus. And did you see in Gus's apartment on his nightstand?
Yeah, pineapple on a nightstand.
There's a pineapple, yes.
Yep.
There's a pineapple there. And Gus goes to the psych office to find Sean, and he finds him on the elliptical. And he looks like he's completely worn out. Right. But he can't get off the elliptical because there's a message on his water bottle that says that if his heart rate drops below 150, he'll die. And he sees this like blinking yellow light, and there's a beeping underneath the elliptical. So Gus calls the bomb squad, and they think it's like Lethal Weapon, and like Speed, and
exactly.
They're having this heart-to-heart moment.
Yeah, and it's Sean's on the elliptical sweating.
He's like, I don't know how much longer I can keep this up. And he's
I
like,
can't keep it up any longer.
Don't say that. It's very dramatic. And Juliet busts in, and she's like, how do you know there's a bomb? And he's
Yeah.
like, well, I saw that Buzz was targeted on the news, and then I saw this note. And she's like, oh my God, I wrote this note. And he's like, what? She's like, yeah, it's a motivational thing my trainer taught me. And Sean's like, what kind of sick trainer do you have? And they're like, well, what's the blinking light? And she pulls it out, and it's the cordless phone. Dying.
No, I was dying. I know.
And Gus goes, we're idiots. Like,
for sure.
Yes, you are. So they head to the police station, and they park the Blueberry and Lassie spot, which is just so fun.
Yeah.
And then they do another thing that is in one of the intros. They scoot, and Gus does this weird sideways crab walk over because they think they're still being targeted.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
They do this behind Juliet's car, and they're like slinking into the police station. And Juliet's like, oh my God, stop it. If he was targeting you, he would have already made a play. Like, cut it out, man up. Yeah. And the sprinklers come on.
That's
and
right.
They dive under the railing. Like that again. Like
I think that's like my favorite part.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, okay, everybody okay? Okay.
Yeah, sprinklers are not gonna hurt you.
It's very fun.
Yeah.
So Lassie gets put back in charge. So Lassie shoots the guy, and he's having a press conference thing, and Sean's like, Lassie's getting press, good for him. And then he's like, $50 to the person who can get on camera the most. And Gus is like, okay. So they act like complete idiots,
like
the entire
children
time
trying to get on camera.
The whole time Lassie's being interviewed.
Yeah.
And one time is particularly ridiculous, and he turns over and he's like, knock it off. Like, really,
during the press conference. Yeah.
And then he turns back to the camera and keeps talking like that never happened.
Yeah. There was a lot of Lassie in this one.
Yeah, a lot of Lassie. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was really good. I love him.
Yeah, I do too.
So they're in the psych office timing with the stopwatch to see who won, and Sean thinks it was him 4.5 seconds.
Of course.
And then he's having a hard time reconciling this case.
Yeah.
Because he just says something's not sitting right with me. So Gus is like, you just don't want Lassie to win, you know. And he's like, no, good for Lassie. He's like, yeah, no.
We know better.
Yeah. So he's like, I'm going to time this again. And they watch the broadcast again. And during that, they see the mugshot of Petrovich. He's holding his little, he's got his name on it.
It's a placard.
Yeah. And he can see that on his hand, Petrovich, on his left hand, he's got a scar on his left hand.
Yes.
And the guy in the hoodie, the shooter, did not have a scar. So he's like, uh-oh, this is bad news. Then he starts thinking about this file and comes to realize that it's the dad of the QB who overdosed. He's a Marine, and he's decorated. And he's like, oh, it's the anniversary of his son's death.
Exactly.
And Lassie had been reaching out to all the people that were affected by Petrovich, and the dad was one, and they go to the cemetery.
They realized that it was a 3-year mark after the kid's death. So he put it together that, you know what? The father has to be at the grave at that point, which was smart.
Absolutely. And he was. And Lassie met him there. And in the midst of putting flowers on his son's grave, he talks to Lassie and tells him why he's going to kill him, because getting Petrovich on a weapons charge was just not justice. It wasn't enough. And he holds Buzz and Lassie responsible for this. Right. And he thinks that getting this kind of justice is going to put balance back into the world.
Right.
And he's got a gun to Lassie's head, and then Juliet and Sean and Gus show up. And she has to lower her weapon. And she says to Sean, please tell me one of you have a weapon. And he's like, a weapon? No. And then he pulls the phone out of his jacket.
That phone.
The cordless.
Unbelievable.
And he's like, I really do have a problem.
That's not the first time he said that.
No. He's like, don't worry, it's out of range. He's like, one time. And he thinks back to when he was a kid. And the one time that he fielded the ball and he hit first base, and he wings the phone at the guy and misses by a yard.
Totally.
But it distracts him enough that Lassie's able to get the best of him. And Gus is like, you owe us a new phone. Then it cuts to them. They're on the field. Baseball diamond in the park? I don't know. Something like that.
I'd say so.
And he's there with his therapist who's talking him through throwing to first base, which Sean does. And he's like, I'm cured. I'm over the yips.
Yeah.
And he gives them a big hug, a little bit too big a hug.
Right. And then Gus has a little chat with him.
Which is great because Gus is like, all right, great. You're over the yips. You still owe me for those socks because Sean charged $80 socks on Gus's Nordstrom's card.
Right.
And he's like, you still owe me for the socks. And Sean goes, you still owe me for your whole life, right?
Right.
And I was like, oh. And this is one of the very rare times that Gus actually gets one over on Sean.
Yes.
He says, well, you know what they say about athletes and mental blocks, right? And he's like, oh, no, you're not doing this to me. You're not going to get one over on me. He's like, I'm not trying to get one over on you. He's like, but often when they get over one mental block, it shows up in another part of their game. And he goes, for example, hitting. And he's like, you're trying to Hannibal Lecter me? You know?
Yeah.
It's like, are you out of your mind? This is one unflappable element of my game. He picks up a bat. He's like, come on, toss one over. And he's like, oh, you want me to throw to you? He's like, oh, yeah. And he throws it and he completely whiffs it.
Constantly.
And then over and over
and over and over. Yeah.
And he's like, Dr. Manny, come back. I need you. And he's like, throw it again. And he throws it over. And he whiffs it again. And he's like jumping up and down. He's like, damn it. And I love it because that moment and the other moment where he throws the phone and he misses. He says, damn it then too.
Right.
Like, these are the two moments that I feel like are the most authentic in the episode. Because it's just like, it's like a heartfelt, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those rare times when Sean is just not, it's not happening for him. And it usually does. And to watch the frustration occur to him, things usually break his way.
Yeah.
And they're just not.
Usually, yeah.
You know? Yeah. So I like that about this episode.
But as serious as it is, it's still silly. That's the one good thing about this one. You know, there's some very serious episodes that are serious, the whole thing. And I kind of don't like those episodes. I'll be quite honest.
We had talked when we were deciding which one to do about the yin and yang episodes.
Yeah.
They are very serious episodes. They're too intense.
They really are.
There's not enough.
Those are my
silly.
least favorites.
Yeah. There's not enough silly to balance that, especially when that one that breaks Juliet.
Oh, I hate that one.
I know. That breaks my heart. But you know what?
Too.
The thing that I do love about that episode,
it's rated one of the top ones, by the way.
It's a very good episode. Story-wise, the whole thing, the acting is top-notch. Everything is very good about it. It's not funny.
I want funny. I'm sorry.
But when she's on top of that clock,
that breaks my heart.
And there's no sound, but you see her saying, I'm fine, and she refuses medical care.
Right.
And then Lassie comes up and she's like, I'm fine. And there's no sound, but you can see him say, it's okay to not be fine.
Yeah.
And he puts his hand out onto her arm and she just crumbles.
Yeah.
And right into him. And it makes me want to cry.
Oh, I know.
That's what being a partner is. And it's very rare to see that kind of emotional intelligence in Lassie.
From Lassie. Yeah.
You know, and he has it in that moment. And it's like, oh, way to be a partner.
Yeah.
But we ultimately chose this episode because we want to be fun. We want it to be fun. And
a little serious, but mostly fun.
Yeah, definitely.
And by the way, this has one of the better intros too. It has a long one, but I like the intros. I like the little shot in this particular intro.
I agree. I also like the part where after they're in the bar and they get shot at and they come back to the police station and Henry comes tearing in. He's like, Sean, thank God you're all right. And he's like, what? Yeah. He's like, well, I was trying calling you. And he's like, oh, my phone wasn't on. And Henry looks at Gus and he goes, what's the first thing you did?
Yep.
He's like, I called my parents and told them I was okay. He's like,
what's the first thing he did? He ate a banana.
He ate a banana.
I know.
That's the kind of stuff we're talking about.
Absolutely. That's what's so good about this. There's another pineapple.
There is.
I don't want the tombstones.
Yeah, I don't like that pineapple though.
I don't either. You could barely see it too.
Yeah, it's a long shot.
It is a long shot. Yeah. It's not an up close shot.
No.
Yeah. But a fun episode and a good one. just a little thing on its Greek to me would be Greek yogurt. Talk about yogurt.
Mm-hmm.
In Greek, it's called yaourti.
Mm.
Yeah. So Greek yogurt is made by straining out the extra whey from regular yogurt. So typically what you do is you take regular yogurt, put it in a cheesecloth, put it in a big bowl, and hang it over a bowl and let it drain right into the bowl. What happens is that it makes it thicker, creamier, and really kind of more flavorful. So I did a side-by-side comparison, Greek yogurt versus regular yogurt per 1 cup serving. This is what happens. Calories. It's only a little bit extra calories because obviously it's a little denser, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Greek yogurt per cup, 149 calories, regular 137. Now, as far as sodium, half the sodium, half the carbs, half the sugar, almost double the protein.
Wow, because all of that junk is getting strained out.
It's actually not junk, it's whey, right? So,
But what I mean is
yeah.
all the sugar, all
Yeah.
the salt,
Yeah,
all of it's coming out.
exactly. However, where it loses is calcium and potassium. So if you want calcium and potassium, have the regular stuff. If you want your, less sugar, more protein, less carbs and less sodium, Greek yogurt.
That's why they use that Greek yogurt so much in like smoothies and stuff like that.
Absolutely, because it's creamier.
Yeah, and it's got more protein.
Yes. And what happens is that the whey, yogurt manufacturers sell that to farmers to add to livestock feed. And also it could be used in fertilizer.
How about that?
There you go. Yeah. So Greek yogurt.
Right on.
So just like what we were talking about, your video has the yips.
Does. And also,
You're back though.
I just got a spam call.
That's fantastic.
Isn't that great?
That's fantastic. And
This
there
is
you
not
go.
my first one today.
No, I had a couple today too. Couple on the home line, couple on the cell. It's just getting bad. What just happened? The floodgates started again.
I don't know. Some kind of legislation must have expired or something.
I don't know.
Because they are all over it.
Yeah, like the no call list thing. I don't know.
No. So we're on letter Y now. Which
Yeah.
means we only have one episode left of this season.
That's right.
So we're not going to do Pineapple Corner next season, right?
No.
We're going to do something else.
I have an idea.
So do I.
Oh, okay.
Should we tell each other our idea right now?
Okay. You want to go first?
Yeah.
Go.
Big Bang Theory.
You know what mine was?
What?
The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Because that's due to come out.
It is. But there's not that many episodes per season. And I don't really like seasons 3 and 4.
No, I don't either. But what I thought of doing was that when season 5 comes out, that we would review each episode of season 5. So why don't we do both? Because it's going to take a while for Maisel to come out. I mean, we've been waiting years for it for season 5,
Yeah.
So why don't we do Big Bang, which I love Big Bang.
I do too. And it's funny.
Oh, it's always
reliably funny.
I watch it on reruns all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great.
Yeah.
And it's not like just one rerun. It's like, okay, every half hour,
I have to watch again because I've been catching 1 or 2 here and there. And I'm like, you know what? I really got to watch this series again.
I love it.
They are my therapy. It should be Big Bang Therapy instead of Big Bang Theory.
Close enough.
It makes me laugh. And I definitely need that injection of laughter.
Yeah.
To lighten up my life.
I get what you're saying too.
Yeah.
You kind of forget about everything when you're watching that.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Since they're only half an hour,
you
can watch a couple.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's do that then. I'm glad we worked that out.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to take a break.
Yeah, definitely.
After Z, we're taking a break. For sure.
Yeah. All right. If you enjoyed this episode, remember to tell your friends and follow us on Facebook at Sense and Nonsense A to Z, all one word. And wherever you're listening, please like our episodes. And if you're listening on YouTube, subscribe to our channel and be sure to hit the notification bell.
Yippee!
To get notified of each episode as it becomes available.
I had to do a Y thing. We appreciate you listening. With that, we're out of here.
Thank you very much. We'll see you next week.